I would definitely recommend David to my friends if I knew that they were doing a project to get a bid from. Like, no doubt in my mind that I would have him at the top of my list to recommend to somebody. So I haven't yet had the opportunity to do that, but absolutely I would. And if anybody comes in my house and says like, oh my gosh, who did your floors? They look amazing. Of course, I'm gonna be passing his name along and definitely would recommend him to my friends, which I have pretty high standards. So like, I wouldn't do that for just anybody. So we unpleasantly had a leak under our kitchen sink and had the water go under the floorboards and warped a lot of our beautiful cherry wood floors. And so when that happened, I was, as most homeowners, pretty discouraged and frustrated with the situation. And so I believe that I might have even gone to school and was talking to Heather, his wife, and David about this situation. And I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot, you're a contractor. Would you mind coming and looking at the house and giving us a bid? I had gotten some other bids from other contractors and was looking for the right fit. I chose David for multiple reasons. For one, I know the quality of his work. Like, I've heard the projects that he's done, and honestly, I was kind of surprised that he took a smaller project because I know he does a lot of home building and major remodels. So I wasn't sure if he would want a project of this size. And so I chose him partially because of his communication. Like, he is just an excellent communicator. He is so responsive and on top of things, and he has a team of people that he works with regularly doing all these projects, so I know they're quality people because otherwise he wouldn't keep using them year after year, project after project. And he was also really flexible with our timing because all of us had to move out of the house and stay with friends or my parents ended up staying up in the mountains for the 3 weeks that we were out of the house. And so he was flexible with planning when we were going to get this project done. And we also had to have, a situation where somebody was going to take care of the horses and all of that. So it was a big logistical thing for us, and having that flexibility with him, knowing that he was going to show up when he said he was going to show up, that he had quality workers, was like huge for us. David's team was very friendly and very on top of things too. They showed up when they said they were going to show up. They worked long days. Like, they really worked hard to get the project done. There was no doubt in my mind that they wanted to stay on time and on task. They were also super friendly. A couple of the guys spoke Spanish, and I pretend to speak Spanish sometimes. And so I chatted with them a couple of days just outside the house, and I felt very comfortable with them in my house because that's a hard thing to let people in there, especially when you're not there. And so I felt very comfortable having them here and was not worried about anything. And Saul, he was the main guy that did most of the work with the wood floors, and he did a phenomenal job. And he was super friendly, again, very prompt, showed up on time when he said he was going to be there, and just did a great job. David was awesome. I definitely texted him multiple times asking questions and called him, and anytime there was a question about something, I loved it because he would meet me here at the house to talk to the contractors, all of us together. So I wasn't having to talk directly to the contractors that I didn't know that well. And he was always on top of my questions and making sure that he figured it out, or he was there with me when we were talking about things. Or one day we have really complicated door locking mechanisms on our house, and the guys didn't know how to do them. So we all came over. I showed David how to lock the doors so that we made sure that when they left for the day that everything was locked up, and just things like that for both security and the quality of the project. So. It was so exciting. Like, I kept peeking in the front window to see what it looked like, but you're not supposed to go into the house during certain times because of dust and all of that stuff. So I would just peek in there to see kind of what the glimpse of what it was going to be like was. And I loved it. Like, when I came in, it was very clean, which I was shocked about because usually when you get wood floors done, there's dust everywhere. And they did such a good job of cleaning up. They even cleaned up the counters, and they, you know, they moved things out of the way and dusted. And it was just like, it was really refreshing. And I appreciated so much the care they took in everything. And you could just tell that they really wanted it to look great in the end. And when I walked in, I was super pleased. And it was how I would have liked to have had it when I bought the house. So I was really, really excited about that.